Bringing people and communities together on seclosounds.org.
Your listening station.
Hi, I'm Terry Sullivan and welcome to this week's Sticks radio show here on Seclo Sound. Joining me on the show today is a young lady called Sandi Thom. We're going to be talking to her in a little while. She's going to be telling us about her new album and her brand new single, which we're going to be playing before it is released. So that's great news for us. Many of you may remember her from 2005 when she had a huge hit with I Wish I Was a Punk Rocker with Flowers in Her Hair. But a young lady who is making a lot of noise, and she's been making a lot of noise for quite a few years, from her album 25, which is released next week. This is the hit single for Adele. This is simply called Hello.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet to go over everything. They say the time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing. Hello, can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such a difference between us and a million miles. Hello, how are you? It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you're well. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home.
This is Seclo Sounds, and you can listen to us by clicking Listen Live on our homepage at seclosounds.org for a choice of players. Via TuneIn Radio at www.tunein.com, search for Seclo Sounds and listen online or download the TuneIn app. You can download the Seclo Sounds iPhone app from the iTunes App Store, and you can listen to us on demand at our replay page.
Soundtracks at 10 p.m. on Tuesdays plays film music.
Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
You're good, kid. But as long as I'm around, you're second best. You might as well learn to live with it.
There we are, as details of Tony Cartier and his Soundtracks show here on Seclo Sounds, one of the great shows we have here on Seclo Sounds. Of course, Adele did Skyfall, and of course Sam Smith's just done the theme tune to the new Bond movie. Have you seen it yet? Let me know what you think. Email me, terry@seclosounds.org. And we're going to be talking to Sandi Thom in a few minutes, but first let's play her 2005 monster hit. It's called Wish I Was a Punk Rocker with Flowers in Her Hair.
Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. In 77 and 69, revolution was in the air. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. When the head of state didn't play guitar, not everybody drove a car. When music really mattered and when radio was king. When accountants didn't have control and the media couldn't buy your soul. When computers were still scary and we didn't know everything. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. In 77 and 69, revolution was in the air. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. When pop stars still remained a myth and ignorance could still be bliss. And when God saved the queen, she turned a whiter shade of pale. My mom and dad were in their teens and anarchy was still a dream. And the only way to stay in touch was a letter in the mail. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. In 77 and 69, revolution was in the air. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. When record shops were still on top and vinyl was all that they stocked, and the super info highway was still drifting out in space. Kids were wearing hand-me-downs and playing games, men kick-arounds, and footballers still had long hair and dirt across their face. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. 77 and 69, revolution was in the air. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair. I was born too late into a world that doesn't care. Oh, I wish I was a punk rocker with flowers in my hair.
There are, that was the 2005 number one single, Wish I Was a Punk Rocker with Flowers in My Hair, from my guest today, none other than Sandi Thom. Good morning, Sandi.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yep, I'm great. I'm great. We're going to be talking about your show at the Stables, and we're also going to be talking about your brand new single in a little while. But one thing I looked up the other day about you is you didn't start off in the music business straight away. You were studying to be a doctor.
Oh, yeah, a long time ago. That's, I was in a school that was very academic, really encouraging you to be the doctors and the lawyers and all those extremely intelligent, wonderful people. But it wasn't for me.
No?
No.
So
obviously not.
So when did you decide?
That was something that I was really encouraged to do before I decided that I was it for me. It was music all the way.
Was it? Yeah. Because you were in a band before you sort of. We'll talk about how you sort of got into music. You were in the band called The Residents before that, weren't you?
I was, yeah. It was the first kind of band that I was in that was, legit to the point where we got paid and we performed and we went to pubs and locals and weddings and things, and it was great. Yeah, I was 14 when I joined the band, and
14.
everybody else was like in their 50s and 60s. So it was kind of strange.
No, I bet it
for
was.
me.
And you played the piano and sung with them, didn't you?
I did, yeah. We were kind of like a Fleetwood Mac type situation because I was on the keys. I was kind of like McVie and Nick at the same time, you know. 'Cause I was doing all the harmonies and then doing all the Stevie Nicks stuff, but then I was on the keys at the same time. So yeah, it was good fun though. It was really, really good times, and I was with them for 4 years until I went to performing arts school.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years now since you since the I wish I was a punk rocker.
I know.
It's and hasn't time flown? Do you know what? I love that song. I've got the album, and I tell you what, I can't. I was only because I looked it up. It was 2005. I thought you're joking. That only seems a couple of years ago.
It's mad, isn't it? I don't feel in any way different.
You don't feel 10 years older.
I am though. I'm 21 weeks pregnant. I'm married.
Oh, 21 weeks
all sorts
pregnant.
going on, yeah.
Oh, so that's good. Is that your first?
It is my first, yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, I've just got married last month, and to my Yorkshireman husband, who I met in a bar in LA, ironically. And yeah, we're just having our first baby, so I've actually just moved back to the UK last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so come back to have the baby on British home soil.
British home soil. Yeah, I mean, I wish you luck with that, with your baby, and I'm sure all your fans do as well, so that's great news. You've been 10 years in the music business, and you sort of had a very unusual way in.
Yeah, well, you know, they always say that any new idea, if it's going to be great, it has to be ludicrous at first. So what I did back then is very common now, with you've got Periscope, and for anybody who doesn't know what those types of things are, they're just live broadcasts for free. You just go on, you say, hey, I'm live, and then we could do it right now. I could Periscope to people and they could watch me talking to you in this studio. But what I did 10 years ago was like the beginning of that. So it was, you know, me in a basement and working with a company to basically stream a live concert every night to the world. You know, so at the time it was ludicrous. Everyone was like, that's ridiculous. How can you do that? But that, for me, I just happened to kind of nail it that particular time, and I was there at the right time. It was about to sort of kind of, you know, change the sort of face of the industry, and I just rode that wave at the right time. And yeah, it was hugely successful. It was mad. We had like 70-odd people the first time, and then maybe 70-odd thousand, you know, a couple of weeks down the line. And that's pretty much what catapulted me into the public eye.
And then obviously, I guess one of the people who was watching you, or some of the people watching you from record companies.
I don't know if they ever caught a show, but, you know, it's funny because I'd obviously done, like, what a lot of people did in those days, which was, you know, get the jiffy bags out with CDs and send them off to all these bigwigs in their big offices. To no avail. Nobody was interested, you know, because it's such a hard industry, and if you go down that road, that is real hard. Thankfully, you don't have to do that anymore. The irony of it all was that once I did do what I did, and I got recognition for it, everybody wanted to know who I was. So, you know, we all kind of, you know, reveled in this moment a little bit, thinking, you know, we've got one up on the industry, and so to speak. But yeah, it was a great time. It was a really cool time, and you know, it sent me all over the world, playing festivals and touring and making records and music with tons of cool people. So it was a fantastic start, and it's just been one giant big adventure ever since.
I mean,